Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talking Drums. This is a message we received from one of our viewers. We thought it was important and wanted to share it with you. My name is Mamefua Ohima Ando. I was born in Ghana, West Africa. As a child, I lived in a close-knit community where it seemed everyone was a relative, even if we were not biologically related. Every adult was my nana, mama, papa, auntie, or uncle. Every child was my sister, brother, or cousin, regardless of relationship. This was my village. In my town, no matter where I went, everyone always called me Mamefua. All I heard all day was Mamefua, Mamefua, Mamefua. When I was 10 years old, I found out I would be moving to the U.S. to join my parents, who left a few years earlier. I lived with my grandmother while they were gone. I really didn't fully comprehend what this change meant, but I remember feelings of both fear and excitement. Fast forward to my arrival and first days in the U.S. This was a different environment, new people, and society to adjust to. It is safe to say my adjustment period took a few years before I felt comfortable in my new country. One of the adjustments was my name. I went from being called Mamefua every day of my life to now being called Josephine. I didn't even know I had another name. That took some time to get used to. Most of the time, I appeared completely oblivious when people would call me Josephine. I would look around wondering who Josephine was. Fast forward again another 20 to 25 years. I am now in my 30s, and I now know who Josephine is. These days, the only people who call me Mamefua are my parents and family members back home. Even my U.S.-born brothers and sisters call me Josephine. Over the years, through conversations with my parents and personal self-discovery, I've learned a bit about African colonization, slavery, cultural brainwashing, and why millions of Black people around the world have European names. I learned that when European Christian missionaries arrived on the shores of Africa, instead of learning the culture and trying to assimilate to our way of life, their plan was to convert us to their cultural and religious beliefs. My Ghana birth certificate lists my name as Josephine Efua Ando. It turns out that along with being forcefully made to accept the Christian religion, my ancestors were also made to change their names to Christian names, Christian meaning European. The only way some managed to hold on to that part of their culture was to slip in an indigenous middle name, which also doesn't make much sense now that I know culturally my tribe didn't use middle names. You would have just had a first name and a surname from your father. In the old days, children received a part of their first name based on the day of the week they were born, and the second part of the first name is selected by the elders of the child's father. For example, my name is Mami Efua Hima Ando. Efua because I was born on Friday, and Ohima was my grandmother's name, which means queen. Ando is the family surname and means great leader. Mami means mother and is a name and title given to girls, women. Because I didn't have the opportunity to learn about Ghana and Africa's history in Ghana, and the U.S. educational system only teaches about slavery, I sought out books and took university classes to learn on my own. This opened my eyes to some of the damage Europeans had inflicted on Africans and other countries all over the world. I learned that one of the first things they did to break the ties of the colonized and enslaved was the rhythm of their culture, which included their traditional names. This practice began in Africa before slavery under the guise of converting us to Christianity. So, on paper, a lot of Africans were given European or Christian names, but amongst their people, they maintained a second traditional name. Now, After becoming enlightened to the evil atrocities that were done to many Africans, I have decided to formally change my name back to my true name. This decision did not happen overnight, but I am now certain and confident in my decision to begin breaking and destroying the mental chains that continue to entrap my people all over the world, now that the physical chains are gone.
My family named me Uza Amaka. That's my full name. It means the road is good. Isn't that a beautiful name? Thanks, Mom. I got it for my birthday. Uza Amaka. But I grew up in a small New England town, and there weren't a lot of Nigerian Americans living in my region. And I would have teachers or anyone, neighbors, try and say my name, and it would be Azumeka, Uzamaka, Uzokuza, any version that they could think of other than Uzamaka. So I came home from school one day, and my mom was cooking in the kitchen, as she is wont to do, the mother of 5 children. And I said to her, "Mommy, can I ask you a question?" She said, I said, "Can you call me Zoe?" And she stopped and gave that mother look that only mothers know and have, and said, "Why?" And I said, "Because no one can say Uza Amaka." And she looked at me and she said, "If they can learn to say Tchaikovsky and Michelangelo and Dostoevsky, then they can learn to say Uza Amaka." And I never asked her again. And what is amazing now, standing in my womanhood, in my power, is I wouldn't change my name for a second. I'm so proud of that name and what stems behind it and what it represents. So do not ever erase those identifiers that are held in you, whether it's your gap, whether it's your name, whether it's your food. It is yours, and it was given to you at birth, and it is yours to own.